Today I'd like to show you the progress of my 3 beautiful Monstera Deliciosas. Now I got these as a 3 or 4 leaf cutting towards the end of autumn last year, and out of that one cutting I made 3 different cuttings. Each of them were put into 3 different modes, so I will be discussing that today. It's in semi-hydro, in a self-watering pot, in plain water, and in semi-hydro, but with the added difference is that it's not got a separate water reservoir. So I will speak a little bit about all 3 methods. I took 1 leaf and planted them in each of these 3 different pots, and this is the growth after actually the end of winter. Now that spring is starting, we are in March, and about mid-March, and I think it's really great because some of the mediums have done better. At the same time, one thing to consider is that all 3 of them have been put in different sunlight conditions though, so they are not uniform in that respect, that though the mediums were slightly different, but also the sunlight that they received were different. Now in 2025, what I want to try is I want to put all of them near good sunlight, and then to see at the end of 2025 how each of them are doing. Now let's talk about the first one, that's in self-watering pot in semi-hydro. So I get my semi-hydro from Soil Ninja, and there's no soil in it apart from semi-hydro. So when you look into it, the leaves have got some sunburn because this one literally sits against the window. So when the window gets hot, it seems to burn a little bit. Now all of them have had a few instances of no water in the reservoir for maybe a week or 2, but usually there is some water, so it's not lack of water, but they do have gorgeous leaves, and that's very visible. Now this particular cutting, the root at the bottom was very weird, so I had to literally put it right at the end of the pot. So I'm kind of trying to wonder how should I actually offer it additional support. So that's something I still need to figure out. So this is the first one. It started off with 1 leaf. It's got 1, 2, which this leaf has actually got quite a bit of damage. So these 2 leaves, this is the oldest leaf, but these 2 leaves, if I'm not mistaken, this was a 2 leaf cutting because the new growth has started from here. As you can see, here's where the new growth has started, and it's got me 3 new leaves. Not that the leaves have done better in my care. As you can see, some of them have got damage, and a lot of it has been sun damage. So I've got 3 new leaves in my care, and it's grown quite well. It's not got a lot of roots at the bottom, but my pot is not very easy to see as well. So that's the first plant. Now the second one is in plain water, and this one's done really well. This was a single leaf cutting, like you can literally see it's just a single leaf, and it has given me, actually this may also have been 2 leaves, 2 of the older leaves. This is again a little bit of damage against the window. Otherwise this one has stayed a lot better. This one does not get direct sunlight though, so it sits in the corner, so it literally sits in those corners, so it's getting shaded light, and it's given me 2 new leaves, but the fenestrations are great. So here you see there are 2 new leaves. And the plant that has grown the least, this one only had a single cutting, a single leaf. This is the oldest leaf, and it's in semi-hydro, and the water reservoir is only till here, but it doesn't have a separate water reservoir. Now this plant literally sat in a pretty dark corner, and so the sunlight was very limited, and it's given me 1 new leaf, which I was surprised that it even gave me that, to be honest, because the sunlight was so bad. I've only recently, and as you notice, there are no fenestrations either. I've only recently changed its location. This leaf came out before I changed the location, but I'm hoping that this year it's going to be different. Now, what I do differently as far as nutrients is concerned, because as you can see, none of them are growing in any soil, so there's no natural nutrition that they would receive. So what I add on every watering or every reservoir fill, I should say, is to the water I add liquid gold leaf, and I do that for all my plants. Like if you follow my shop, all my plants are in semi-hydro, and that's all I use. I use liquid gold leaf for all my substrates as well, my hydroponics, as well as I have a couple of plants that I have it in soil, that are in soil, and even for that it's the same water. So I don't change the nutrients based on the substrate. I literally have the same proportion and add it to everything. And in that I can definitely say that even this one has the semi-hydro has given me 3 new leaves, but my plant in water has done just as well. So I think a Monstera Deliciosa is a brilliant plant to grow either in semi-hydro, it's done very well, also in water, in just plain water with added nutrients, and also I'm sure it would do very well in this as well if I only give it better sunlight. So the care is so easy for this plant. This plant literally just grows by itself. You ignore it and it just grows. The one thing that I want to try different this year as well is I want to get a support stick for it, so it can grow up and get its support as it's growing. Because I notice with if you see the one in water, you can see it's got an amazing root system, but it's not got a lot of aerial shoots. But the one that is in the semi-hydro, this one, it's got really long roots, aerial roots, and this poor thing was stuck to the wall. So when I tried to take it out, it kind of, and I'm going to cut it off, I'm not going to leave them, but it's got really strong aerial roots. So I would rather give it some support that it can actually cling to while it's growing. So I'm going to try that for this particular Monstera. So that is all from my side. If you have any questions, please do let me know. This is my first few months with the Monstera, and I would say it's done really well. I wish I'd done better with the leaves though. I think I need to change the positioning for this Monstera as well, because I would love to prevent these yellow leaves. So that is all from my side, and thank you so much for watching, and happy growing.